This is an update to the Peter Lynch portfolio. YCharts does the screen where they screen for small caps, companies with low PEG ratios, reasonable debt to equity ratios, and something of a dividend to resemble kind of like a Peter Lynch like investment. There's a list of 35. Gets updated every once in a while, so some new names on here. And one of the new names on the list is MVO Trust. Ticker symbol is MVO. I don't know a lot about this company. It's not a recommendation. Make sure you do your own due diligence if you're thinking about investing in these. But I'm going to guess that this is an oil and gas trust. The profile says here, an oil and gas trust. This is a common theme in a lot of the names on this list recently. There's a lot of deals in oil and gas, and a lot of these oil and gas trusts have some pretty decent yields, like this one here, almost 16% yield. Yeah, we're kind of like maybe coming out of the bottom of a cycle for oil and gas. There's been a lot of like producers that have learned the hard way that they can't spend a lot of money on just drilling holes to try to get as much as they can as far as producing barrels, and they're being a lot more conservative with their capital expenditures. So a lot of oil companies are doing all right. There's a lot of cash in the industry, and there's definitely not a lot of people willing to invest in oil and gas for reasons that are probably don't need to be said. But for those people who maybe have a differing opinion about oil and gas, is probably a good place to be. I know I personally am investing in oil and gas just because there's so many bargains there, and the yields are really good. Like this one, it's got a 16% yield, almost 16% yield. The market cap's 147 million. The revenues you can see here are doing really good. EPS doing really good. Debt to equity ratio is 0. It's a trust, so it probably doesn't really have any debt. The return on equity is over 300%. Like I said, it's kind of a broken record. You should check out some of these companies. There's a lot of them on this list, so they don't all have the same kind of yields, but they're all pretty good. There's another company that I'm thinking about maybe doing a video on in Brazil. The Brazilian national oil company there has an incredible yield, something like 70% or something like that. And actually, maybe we can just take a quick look at it and see here. PBR. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Petroleo Brasileiro Petrobras. PBR is the ticker symbol. Yeah, dividend yield 60%. That's awesome. That's incredible. I mean, I guess the concern about investing in something like this would be you're investing in Brazil, so politically you don't know exactly what's going to happen. There is this company is like kind of owned and operated by the government of Brazil, and who knows what they're gonna do with that dividend. They may just completely slash it and maybe nationalize the entire company. Who knows? There's some risk there. But for those of you who've maybe got some cash on hand to speculate with, it might be a good place to go, just because there's, like I said, 63% dividend yield is pretty decent. Anyways, for now, a little less political risk. This one's in MV Oil Trust in Texas, so and it's also got a pretty decent yield, almost 16%. So as long as the oil and gas prices remain high, and a lot of the energy producers are conservative with their capex, I mean, there's no reason why these companies can just continue to yield pretty decently. So MV Oil Trust, that's another one on the list. Check it out. If you're interested in keeping up to date with what's happening with this list, make sure you subscribe to the channel or go to my website, peterlynchinvestor.com. I update that website with this list as well. You subscribe there, you'll get an email anytime there's some changes. So that's a good way to kind of keep up to date with what's happening with this Peter Lynch portfolio. And yeah, that's it for today. Thanks.